Hey guys, it's Commish JP. I made a little video here. I can't believe I had to make this. Actually, scratch that. I was expecting to make it at some point. I didn't get it approved through Adele, so there's a chance he tells you I'm wrong and to go fuck myself. But anyways, the whole left stick thing is popping up again, so I made a quick video here on just what I think would be considered a left stick and what wouldn't. These, as you see, at the beginning there were a couple like sharp cuts, which normal football move. Then there's that. That's typically what we would consider a left stick when the moves are a little rounded and less movey. That's not a left stick. I know people want to look at a left stick as moving your left stick at like a really literal sense of the term. That's really not the point of the left stick rule. The left stick rule is mutt swerve. We've all played online. We've all done Madden, Play Now online, etc., etc. And you know how people run with kind of like everything is more rounded and swervy. But this year, there's a nice little cut animation you can get, as you see there. Those are not left sticks. Left sticks is to avoid abuse. It's not to avoid using your left stick and forcing you to run into a defender. This is what we don't want. Everything is kind of rounded and you can just kind of weasel your way around the field. That's what we don't want to have happen. That is still left sticky in the sense it's always been. As you can see, Ben Jones is jacking himself off. There's no one for him to engage with. But there are some more cuts. I mean, I would recommend... oh my god, I can't breathe this morning. I would recommend everyone to get into practice mode and just play. I mean, you don't have to go and try to work on plays you think that are going to work all the time, but some of the mechanics that we have at our disposal are pretty cool, and I've really only seen maybe 2 or 3 people actually use the cut feature, and they can really help people out. I mean, in real life, if a play is designed to go one way and the offensive line, happens to open a hole on the other end, the running back's not just going to run into, well, unless they're Trent Richardson, they're not just going to run into, little tiny pockets to try to break through 3 defensive linemen. They're going to try to find their way back to the hole. Most of these you can see are normal looking cuts. That right here is not a normal looking cut. We don't want swerving. I would say it's more of a swerve rule than a left stick rule, because if you call it a left stick rule, people kind of get the idea that you can't touch your left stick, and that's not the case. Here's some more swerving. Just kind of running around. Yeah, you lose a little speed doing it this year, but I mean, it's still lame. There, he slows down, cuts back, and then a couple more cuts. Cut to the left, cut back, cut up. There's foot planting and cuts. The point of the swerving rule or left stick rule is really never to stop people from being able to make moves with their running back without the need to use the right stick. Here's some more swerving. It was there to prevent people from abusing the AI that didn't have the awareness or tool to stop people from swerving around blockers and things like that. But with the cut move you see there's a little swerve beforehand. I mean, this isn't hard to do. I mean, you can go into practice, just what you would used to do to left stick, do that, and this will happen. Just sharply move your stick to the other side, to the side you're going. I did a couple swerves there so you can see the difference between the two. But I don't, these are not left sticks to me. They're losing momentum, they're planting, getting momentum back after their cut. I mean, And I know you're thinking, oh, it's Derrick Henry. Of course it looks that way because he's big. Just for you, I'm going to put Dion Lewis in here. All running backs get these animations. Some are a little quicker than others. Dion Lewis doing these is going to be a lot faster than Derrick Henry doing his. And I mean, it should be. Derrick Henry doesn't have the agility that Dion Lewis has. Ben Jones still jacking off. These are just little cuts, little plants. I mean, there's a lot of those are hard to do in open space on a tackler anyways. The primary use I would see for that would be this move anyways, would be to get your way back into a hole. And you could chain it with things like spins, jukes. You got to juke a guy at the beginning and cut back to the hole. I ran into Taylor Lewan like a dumbass. Spin moves. Most of these are just normal cuts. I mean, I hope we don't see people, just cutting like an accordion like that. But that was just to show, like, you can kind of do it without thinking. And this is what we want to avoid. That is unnatural. This is like playing Pac-Man or something. Spyro the Dragon, I guess. Man, Ben Jones has stamina. Like, these moves are not unnatural. If you look at the old definition of the left stick rule, it specifically says, like swerving to abuse blockers. So as you see here, like, here's some swerving. And then some cuts to show the difference. I mean, honestly, there's not much to kind of gather. I just don't want to see people look at stuff like the cuts and say that they're left sticks. In there's a bunch of swerving in between the moves to kind of show the difference of what it looks like with the moves. And running into my offensive lineman again. Here's some more swerving. This is what we don't want. This looks unnatural. Those cuts do not look unnatural. I know it's weird to see because we've never had anything like that before where, you can cut, bounce outside, bounce back. Like, we haven't had a feature or any movement system that allowed us to do that kind of stuff. So it's sort of ingrained in us that if anyone feathers or touches their left stick, that they're abusing or that it's cheesy. That's not the case in my mind. I mean, ultimately Adele has the final decision on how the rule is worded, what the rule is, but I don't want to see people put the time in to, be patient, watch their blockers, watch where the holes are, make a legitimate cut move, and, get crucified for it. I mean, they're not using the right stick, but not everything has to be a juke. Not everything has to be a spin move or a hesitation. Sometimes you cut back, and we have the ability to do that now, running into Taylor Lewan again. I mean, it does take a few steps. I mean, if you do it right from the get-go of your run, it's going to just steer you in that direction and, give you a really unnatural, like right there. And then it leads to this. These are the type of things we don't want. You be more sharp with your stick, you get a little cut. Just imagine controlling your running back as you were actually controlling them. There's another kind of swerve thing, and there's that where people would kind of bend to the outside. I know people are going to get upset if someone uses a cut feature on them, and they ultimately use the X button to try to get a big hit or try to hit stick, and they're probably going to miss, but you shouldn't be able to hit someone on every cut. You can get some good foot planning with your running backs. I mean, it's possible. Like I said, take a few minutes, half an hour or whatever, go into free practice, put it on offense only, put your running backs out there, and just jerk your left stick around. If you're not confident in making the cuts without like swerving around, please don't. I mean, I don't want to get to a situation where people say things are an accident when they know they're not. I mean, if you accidentally try to cut and swerve around someone, that will be considered a left stick, and you'll probably have to get talked to about it. But I mean, use